Hello. This time we're going to be doing something very similar to the last lesson, still with time intervals. So time intervals are again the time that passes from the start time to the end time. So we're going to be working with that more. So Javier begins working on his oceans project at 1:30 p.m. He spends 42 minutes painting a model of Earth and labeling the oceans. At what time does Javier finish working on his project? So we know he started at 1:30 and 42 minutes went by. We need to find the end time. We don't know the end time this time. So circle the information that we need. We know he starts at 1:30. So he begins at 1:30 and he spends 42 minutes painting it and labeling it. That's what we know. That's the information that we need to use. What time do I need to find? Well, my question says at what time does he finish working? So I need to find the end time. I don't know that. That's what we have to find. All right. So again, there's going to be a couple ways that we can do this. The first way is going to be a number line. So step 1, find the time on the number line when Javier starts working on the project. So 1:30 is the time that he starts. We already know that. Count forward the number line on the number line to add the elapsed time. Draw and label the jumps to show the minutes. So I need to use the 42 minutes. So this says I can break 42 into shorter amounts. Well, we know that 42 is really how many tens? 4 tens. And then what else? 2 ones. So this is what I need to use to break apart my 42 minutes to find my end time. So I'm going to use a 10 first, plus a 10, which would be 140. I'm going to use another 10, which would be 150, and another 10. 150, 150 plus 10 minutes takes us to the next hour. The next hour is 2 o'clock. And then I'm going to use my last 10. 2 o'clock plus 10 is 2:10. And then all we have left is my 2 ones. 1, 2. So 2:10 plus 1 is 2:11. Plus another one is 2:12. 2:12 is the end time. So the jumps end at 2:12. And I'm going to count my numbers just to make sure that I added 42 minutes. 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42. So he finishes working on his project at 2:12 p.m. because p.m. is when I label up here. Another way is to use a clock. Find the starting time on the clock. Well, we know my start time is 1:30. That's why this clock shows 1:30. And then this blue is the time that went past. So they already started counting for us, and we know that each time we jump from one number to the next, it's 5 minutes. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, but then I have littler jumps. So those are 1 minute. So 41, 42. So my ending time is still 2:12 because I counted the whole way around and I stopped when I got to 42 minutes. And then if you look at this, it's at the 12 and it's the next hour because I went past the 12 at the top. So 2:12, still p.m. All right. The next one says Whitney went swimming in the ocean for 25 minutes. She finished at 11:15 a.m. So that's the time she ended, and she was swimming for 25 minutes. What time did she start swimming? So step 1, find the time on the number line when she finished. So here's where she finished. It's at the end because that's the finish time. I need to count back to subtract the elapsed time, so the time that went past, which is 25 minutes. Draw and label the jumps to show in the minutes. Write the times below the number line. So I need to go backwards to find the start time because all I have is my ending time. And I need to jump back 25 minutes. So I'm going to jump back by a 5. So that way it makes it 11, 10. And then it's easier for me to subtract the tens. So I know that 25 is really a 10, another 10, and a 5. So I already got rid of the 5. Then I need to jump back a 10. 11:10 minus those 10 minutes would just be 11 o'clock. There's that second 10. Now I need to use my last 10. 11 o'clock. So I'm going before 11 o'clock. What hour is before 11 o'clock? It's 10, and we're starting at the end of it, so it'll be 10:50. So 10, 20, 25, I subtracted my 25 minutes and I had to go backwards. So I jumped back to 10:50 a.m. So she started at 10:50 and she ended at 11:15 a.m. So since I had my ending time, I had to go backwards. When I have the starting time, I go forwards. You could also use the clock to find that. So the ending time was 11:15. That's why those hands are right there. And then they counted back. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, which would be the previous hour because it went back past the top of the clock, which is 10. And then if you count the whole way around, the 10 here means 50. 10:50 a.m. All right, using the number line. Use the number line to find the starting time if the elapsed time is 35 minutes. So we need to find the start time. That means we need to find the time that the activity started at. We know it ended at 5:10, so we need to go backwards. We need to go backwards 35 minutes. We know that 35 is really made up of 3 10s and a 5. 10, 20, 30, 35. So I'm going to subtract a 10. Since that's a tens, that'll be easy to subtract. 5:10 minus 10 would just be 5 o'clock. Then I need to subtract another 10. Okay, I'm going back to the previous hour. So what hour comes before 5 o'clock? Before 5 o'clock is 4, and then my minutes are 50. And then I need another 10. 450 minus 10 would be 440. That's my last 10. And then all I have left is a 5. 440 minus 5. So 40 minus 5. If you need to write it, write it. 10 minus 5 is 5. 3 minus 0 is 3. 440 minus 5 is 435. So the starting time was 4:35, and this is my label PM, so this is PM. 4:35 PM is the start time. All right, for the homework. The first one is done for us. They used 55 minutes. They had a funny time that they were starting at, so they subtracted a 9 so that it would be a nice even number. And then at the end, they added all these to make sure that they got to 55 minutes, and they found the start time of 3:34. All right, ending time is 10:08 a.m., and we know that the time that went by was 30 minutes. So if this is the ending time, I need to find the time before that. So I could subtract those 3. So that way I'm at a 5. And then if I added another 5, that would be 5. So that's 8 minutes. Plus another 5. So 13 minutes. Another 5 would be 18. 23. 28. 29. 30. 30 minutes would have went by. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, which means the start time, the start time is the hour before, which is 9, 35, 36, 37, 38. 9:38, and we know it's a.m. If those clocks are tricky, use a number line. I get tricked by those clocks sometimes, so I'm going to check it with the number line. 10:08, and I need to go back 30 minutes. 10:08 minus 10 would be 9:58 because it's the previous hour. Minus another 10 would be 9:48. Minus another 10 would be 9:38. So use whichever way works for you. If the clock confuses you like it confuses me, use the number line. For number 3, I need to find the end time. I start at 2:15 a.m., so that's going to go at the start time, and I know that 45 minutes went by. And I know that 45 is 4 tens and a 5. So I'm going to add my 4 tens first. Made those tens too big. Oops. Have to make it bigger here. There's my 4 tens, and then my 5. So I added all of this. So 215 plus 10 is 225. Plus 10 is 235. Plus 10 is 245. Plus another 10 is 255. And then 255 plus 5 more minutes would take me to 3 o'clock. So 2:15 plus 45 minutes would be 3 o'clock a.m. All right. Starting time, 6:57 and 47 minutes went past. I'm going to do a number line instead of using that clock. So my start time is 6:57. And I know that 47 minutes went by. 47 is really 4 tens and 7 ones. I could also say 4 tens, a 5, and 2 ones. So I'm going to start with my tens. 6:57 plus a 10. Plus 10 more minutes would take me to the next hour. So 6:57 plus 10 would be 7:07. Plus another 10 would be 7:17. I'm just changing my tens number. Plus another 10 would be 7:27. Plus another 10 would be 7:37. I'm going to use my 5. So 37 plus 5, so 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. 7:42 plus 2 ones. 42, 43, 44. So my time that went by, or the ending time is 7:44. And that is PM. All right. Jenny spent 35 minutes doing research on the internet. She finished at 7:10. So I'm going to draw the line. She finished, so that's going to go down here at 7:10. And we know that 35 minutes went by, and 35 is 3 tens and a 5. So I'm going to count back. So minus those 10 minutes would be 7 o'clock. Minus another 10 would be, it's the previous hour, so it's 6:50. Minus another 10 would be 6:40. And then minus a 5. 40 minus 5 would be 6:35. So what time did she start? She started at 6:35 and then it's p.m. Clark left for school at 7:43 a.m. He got to school 36 minutes later. So I know my start time. I'm going to draw my number line. My start time, because he left at 7:43. And I know it took him 36 minutes. 36 is 3 tens, a 5, and a 1. So 43 plus 10 is 7:53. Another 10, 53, that means I got to go to the next hour, so it's really 8:03 plus another 10. So 8:03 plus a 10 would be 8:13 plus a 5 right here. 13 plus 5 would be 8:18 plus my leftover 1, 8:19. So what time did he get to school? He got to school at 8:19 a.m. So number 7 says, describe a situation when you need to know how to find a starting time. Well, the first example that comes to my head is I need to know when I have to leave my house so that I can get to school on time. So my starting time would be what time I have to leave my house. I leave my house at 6:45 a.m. so that I can get to school by 7 o'clock a.m. So the starting time that when I need to know my starting time would be when I'm leaving for work in the morning. Just like you guys need to know what time you need to leave your house so that you can get to your bus. So you don't miss that bus in the morning. Alright, Cody and his friends start playing a game at 6:30. It took them 37 minutes to finish the game. What time did they finish? So, they started at 6:30. They had 37 minutes. So 37 is 3 tens. 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens, plus a 5. And then my 2 ones, because 5 plus 1 is 7 for my 37 minutes. So 6:30 plus 10, 6:40. 6:40 plus 10, 6:50. 6:50 plus 10 is 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock plus 5 is 7:05. And then plus my 2 ones, 7:06. 7:07. So, what time did they finish? 7:07 p.m. Dahlia worked for 45 minutes on her oil painting. She took a break at 10:35. What time did she start working? So, we know that her break was at 10:35. So that's the time she stopped. And we know that she did that for 45 minutes. So I got to count back 45 minutes. So I need 4 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. So minus 5. And then these are all minus 10s. So 35 minus 10 would be 10, 25. Minus 10 would be 10, 15. 15 minus 10 is 10:05. 10:05 minus 10. That has to take me to the previous hour. So before that is 9, and it's 9:55. And then 9:55 minus 5 would be 9:50. So, at what time did she start working? Well, she started working at 9:50 a.m. Alright, for our review. Sierra has 30 collector's pins. She wants to put an equal number in each of 5 boxes. This sounds to me like I am splitting up equally. I need to split 30 into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. To me, that sounds like 30 divided by 5. Well, how many would go in each? 30 divided by 5 is 6. 6 pins should go in each. What time? So let's make this hour go longer. Oh, it's not to my 3 yet, so it's still 2 something. And let's count. 5, 10, 15, 20. Uh-oh, it's not completely to the 25 yet, so I gotta stop at 20 and then count by ones. 21, 22, 23, 24. 2, 24 is what time that clock shows. Ricardo has 32 books to put on 4 shelves. So I have 32 altogether. That sounds like my total. And he puts them on 4 shelves. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means I gotta go start at 1 and get the whole way to 32, and I gotta put them on equally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. How many did he put on each? He put 8 on each, so that is 32 divided by 4 equals 8. How many books? 8 books. John started playing a computer game at 5:35. He finished at 5:52. How long did he play? My hours are the same, so I can subtract. The bigger time goes on the top. 5:52 minus 5:35. 2 minus 5 I can't do, so that has to turn into a 12. And that has to turn into a 4 because I took away from it. 12 minus 5 is 7. 4 minus 3 is 1. So, how long did John play the game? 17 minutes. All right.